Hey guys, what's going on? Andrew coming at you, and Swedish public transportation is awesome, and here's 5 reasons why. And let's start with number 1, how affordable it is. And right now I live in Linköping, and most of the places that I need to travel is within the city center, and my ticket, I get a 30-day ticket, which means I can just use the buses as many times as I want. And it'll be about, 650 crowns. Right now I got a deal for it being about 524 crowns. And now the value of the US dollar and kroner changes so much. But let's say that's like $70. Anywhere between $60 and $80 is maybe what I spend on being able to use the buses. And if I would be in Stockholm or maybe another area, I would be able to use maybe buses, the metro, and all these things would be included. And it is, in my opinion, very, very affordable, especially if you consider the cost of gasoline. This is what I love so much about it, is that it's affordable, and I find it to not be inconvenient at all personally, and it's something that I enjoy using. It's not that I'm no one's ever in love with taking public transportation, but I just mean that it's convenient, it works, it's affordable, and it's something that I find to be a much better way to have a job and be able to travel to if you can. Because you can really take advantage of the time when you're using public transportation. I mean, you can be listening to an audiobook, you can be reading a book, you can be watching a fun YouTube video like this one and hitting the like and subscribe button and watching more for more. Number 2 is that the Swedish public transportation is efficient. Now, I just think it's so well organized, and it usually runs on time. I mean, there's a little bit of a joke here I always have, is if you ever want to see a Swedish lady really upset, have a bus be 5 minutes late or something like that. That's the only time really, but for the most part, the buses do run on time. I mean, in Sweden, in Linköping area, sometimes our trains don't always run on time, and with the snow and some issues with SJ, not saying that they're bad, but just I know that sometimes there's issues with the trains. But for the most part, the buses seem to run pretty okay. It's very efficient. You can find an easy time to get somewhere. For where I live, there's buses every 10 minutes, basically. So it's at the point where I just walk to the bus station. I don't always just check the bus times. I don't have to worry about it, and I'm never waiting longer than 5 minutes to catch a bus. So it's something that's just enjoyable, and maybe my commute takes to work 45 minutes, but I add a walk in there. Personally, when I talk about it being efficient, one thing I love is I take the bus to the city center, and then I walk to my job the rest of the way. So I get a 15-minute walk in the morning, a 15-minute walk back, and that gives me 30 minutes, and I absolutely love it. Okay, number 3, what I like about the Swedish public transportation is that it's good for the environment. We recycle food here in Sweden, and some of the food that we recycle is used to be biofuel for the buses, which is just absolutely awesome. And now in Linköping, I've actually seen a few electric buses that we have. I've never had the chance to ride one. One time I just want to hop on it. Maybe I'll just do it randomly. I've always wanted to ride one of the electric buses. It's just my route doesn't take the electric buses, so I don't normally do that. But it's awesome because it is good for the environment, and it's quicker in a lot of ways because you have these own bus routes that you're taking. It's another reason to use the public transportation that is here in Sweden. Number 4, and I probably talked about this under being affordable a little bit, but it saves money on gas. Now, gas has completely shot up in Europe for a number of different reasons. I do not believe that Sweden gets a lot of its natural gas or gas necessarily from Russia at all, but just the big push of all the gas prices and everything going up has had an effect here in Sweden, and these are countries where the gas prices are already high. When Americans are talking about $5 gas being insane, $5 gas is pretty much the norm here in Sweden, so it shot up to almost, in some cases, I think between $8 and $10. So when you think about that much and how much it would cost you to spend money on gas and driving to work every day, some people don't have a choice. In most places, the Swedish public transportation is really good, and you can get by without having a car. But if you have a family, or you live a little bit outside of the city in the country, you need to have a car. So there's a lot of Swedes, I'm sure, that are struggling a little bit to survive. I'm not saying that they might be living to paycheck right now just due to the gas, would be a guess that I would have. because this is a huge cost that people have to pay right now. Let's go to number 5, but first, our video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for anyone who loves learning and wants to explore their creativity and learn new skills. Invest in yourself and your personal growth. I first learned of Skillshare through my Sambo, who got really interested in artwork and sketching, and I watched her go from an amateur to a pro, and she's been using Skillshare weekly for the last 2 years. Now it's part of my daily routine. I've been watching Learn Adobe Photoshop Fundamentals for Getting Started by Kat Collette, and a lot of times as content creators, we just have to go through, and I'm just working on thumbnails, that there's a lot of knowledge gaps that I've missed, and I just find her videos to be so helpful, and I'm learning so many things that are helping me saving time and improving the quality of my work. Skillshare can help you make 2022 a year of new learning, growth, and connection through creativity. They're running a special offer through my channel. The first 1,000 people to use my link or my code will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring my video. Number 5, the best way to travel. See, one of the best things about public transportation, as I mentioned before, is that you get to actually do something while you're traveling. Like if you're driving a car, you always have to pay attention. So that's number 1. Number 2, sometimes it's the most efficient way to travel. For example, if you're flying to Arlanda Airport and you're trying to get to Stockholm, taking the train system is absolutely awesome. It is so cool that you can take a train from Arlanda all the way to Stockholm. And for me, I can take it from Arlanda all the way to Linköping, where I live. It is the best and most efficient way to travel. It is very, very fast, and a lot of times it's going to be faster than even driving. So if I was going to go from Linköping to Stockholm and maybe to visit some people, or I was going to do something in Stockholm for that day, if I had a car, I could drive, but in most cases, taking the train, traveling around the city, and getting out would be faster. So it's almost an encouragement to use the public transportation more because it does save you time and it's quick. And it's one of the reasons I really like being here in Sweden is the taking advantage of the public transportation. We don't have any trains in the US. I mean, we have trains, but train travel is not really something that's common. And I really wish that when we are investing in our infrastructure in the United States that we spend more money on trains, on public transportation in general. It's more affordable. It makes sense, but it's also such a great way to travel. To be able to take a train from, I don't know, Los Angeles to San Francisco, I think they're trying to make that train, or be able to take a train trip. When you're going hundreds of miles an hour on a train, you can cover a lot of distances, and it's just awesome. They're actually trying to plan on getting a train built, I believe, from Norrköping to Stockholm that's going to be able to do it in like 45 minutes. It usually takes about 2.5 hours, so I'm excited to learn about that one. So these are all the reasons I love public transportation. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and smash that like button, and I will see all of you guys in the next video. Hej då!